caused him to reevaluate his life and to make a lot of changes. Now I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
To make a lot of changes.
It did.
So I feel like, but it's still a work in progress, right? To be in this gratitude and to
You're killing me.
But
Cathy is a crier.
I am, I'm sorry. So, good and bad, like funny with it.
She tells you a story, she cries automatically.
Commercials, I also
yes.
cry. My husband will be like, it's a commercial. I'm like, but look at what they're doing. You don't feel it?
Welcome to the Limitless Tribe, where two badass women build businesses, chase dreams, and keep it way too real. I'm Kat.
And I'm Mel. We're the founders of Powerhouse Admins and the Limitless Tribe, and we're inviting you into the messy middle, the mindset shifts, and the CEO glow-ups you never see coming.
Now let's get into it.
Hi everybody, today's episode is about gratitude. Not the surface level kind that we talk about once a year or around Thanksgiving, but the kind of gratitude that really grounds you when things aren't going your way, especially when they're not going your way, right? So gratitude when you're losing money, gratitude after a breakup, gratitude when things fall apart, and even gratitude when you're just trying to make ends meet. Life may not always look how we plan. It probably most of the time doesn't look like we plan, but the piece that we're really looking for is in remembering that we already have everything that we need and that life always doesn't look like we expect. But the piece that we're looking for comes from remembering that we already have everything that we need.
Yeah, so it's about going beyond just like those good days. I feel like, it's very easy to be grateful when things are going well for you, right? When you are doing well financially or, you're in a good place in your relationship. So it's easy to say, oh, my life is so good. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God, whoever you say thank you to for all of the good things that are happening at that moment. But it's really more difficult to say thank you and to be grateful when things are not going your way, when there's unexpected bills or maybe your relationship, you're arguing with your spouse, or just, kids are doing bad in school, anything. It could be anything. But it's finding that gratitude even in those moments that are hard. Noticing what is still good in your life that you can be grateful for, and being able to find a balance of, you're grateful for these things, but you still want more. It doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. Wanting more or having ambitions isn't a negative. So you could still be grateful and still want more from life. But you also can still and should still be grateful even when things aren't going your way.
Yeah. I think that's something that I'm really trying to work on, because I feel like ambition is almost synonymous with stress and not being there yet, right?
Yeah.
And that is kind of the opposite of gratitude. And I've had different people in my life. Some people think if you're ambitious, you can't be happy with what you have, or
grateful for where you are at that time.
You can't be like at peace. You have to have that urgency in order to have ambition. And then there's people on the other end where they love their life, they're really grateful for where they are, and they're not really striving for anything new or anything to push outside the box or to grow or to be excited about. And I don't want that life either. Right? So I'm trying to find the balance of being in the middle, right? Of what you were saying, of being able to be grateful and happy for where we are now, but still get excited about everything that can come. And not as a need, but like as a bonus.
Yep. I think that's something that I've been working on a lot too. Between that and just being grateful for where I'm at in life in general, right? Even I know that life isn't perfect, right? And I feel like things happen here and there, and all of a sudden you get a bill and you're like, damn it, I didn't want that bill. Why did this come right now? Or something like that. But there's so much to just be grateful for where we are now. And I've been trying to do a lot of that. Just remember, like, this life is amazing and things are going well and I'm in a good place. So just trying to be grateful for that, but also still thinking, like, what else can I do? Where else can I go? How much more can I grow, and not feeling guilty for that?
Yeah. I think it's about the pauses, right? To like really take the time to notice where you are and where you've been, right?
Yeah.
So I think that we spend so much time looking at what's next that we don't look at how far we've come. So I really try to think about where I was 2 years ago when the business started and it was brand new and uncertain, right? 4 years ago when I was in between corporate and here, struggling financially and trying to figure out what I was going to do. A lot of mental work during at that time. And then even 20 years ago when we were having kids and totally broke and survival mode, right?
Yes.
And I think that even though there's so much more that I want to achieve, what I've already done is like the dream version that those past selves used to dream about. Like this is, usually honestly, this is even better than I ever imagined, especially really young, like at 20.
Yeah, I could have never imagined the life that I'm living right now.
So I try to pause often and remember that and then be grateful, almost like as your inner like child or like your younger self, to like be so grateful that you've made it here, right?
Yeah.
And then I also try to think about the journey, because we think so much about where we're going that we come up with the goal, then we put our head down, we get to work, and then we wake up, we hit the goal, we enjoy it for 5 seconds, and then we move on to the next thing, we're down again. So I realized that it's the journey that is the most special, and not, the destination is just like a little check mark, but the journey is the special part. So I try to be grateful about the little moments in between, the tiny wins that lead to the big win, those transitional moments, and that's been really like life-changing for me.
That's amazing.
Yes. So story time. So after corporate, I was not wanting to go back to corporate, but I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I always liked business, but I didn't have like an idea. So I was in this in-between time because I felt like if I take a job, that's it. I'm going to be trapped, I'm all in, and then I don't do anything for myself. But I also, and I had the money, so I had saved up a year of savings. So I had the money to explore now. My daughter was older, maybe like 18-ish. So I had the time and money to explore. So that's what I tried. I tried a couple projects. They weren't making any money at all, 0. So I'm eating the savings. And then somewhere along the way, someone's like, oh, somebody's looking for like a part-time job as an admin. I'm like, okay, that works. Part-time gives me time to work on my projects on the side, but it gives me some money coming in so that I'm not using all of my savings and it's not like going down so fast, right? At least it buys me like more months. I used to count the months, like, okay, I have this amount, this is my monthly expenses, I have 6 months. If I made this, I have 7. And like that, to see how much time I had to explore, because it's limited on my budget because I'm a breadwinner. So then I still had some savings, right? And somebody came to me with an opportunity for an investment. And I've only invested in like retirement, like 401ks and stuff. And I'm not a risky person, like in anything, like jumping out of things or, I don't do risky investments. I hadn't even done a business because I was scared of the risk. And, but I've been trying to. So I've been trying to put myself out there and to like be a little bit riskier, right? But not irresponsible.
Yes.
So they gave me this investment, and what it was supposed to be, it was like a hard money loan for businesses. So businesses that needed the money in order to do a project, to push like a big like inventory haul that they needed to do, and they either couldn't get the loan in time from the bank or they didn't have the credit for a loan. So then this company would lend them the money at a higher interest rate, like 30 something, and then we would get 10%. That made sense to me because the company needs it. They're probably going to make more money than what they have to pay in interest. That company that's doing the loan is getting the majority of it, and I get 10. And
when she told me this, internally, I was freaking out. And I was like, no, this is a bad idea. But I was also really proud because I was like, this is something I would never have the courage to do because I'm so like, oh my God, even like starting a business, anything, it's like, oh my God, like I can't do that. So I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so proud of her that she's taking this risk and that she's going to do this. But I was like, this is so scary. Like, I don't think I could ever do it.
I was flexing the muscle, but I flexed a little too hard on this one. But I'm still a responsible person, right? Oh, and so the hard money loan, right? So when I was younger, my daughter's dad was, very bad with money. And I remember going with him to one of those places that they lend you money with your car loan or lean or something.
Yeah.
And it's at a high interest rate. We never ended up doing it, but I never forgot that. And I figured, okay, like this is kind of like that. Made sense to me. I Googled them, because when you Google like a name and scam, it usually comes up with all the stuff that people have said about this company. I even looked at the Better Business Bureau, because that's where people go to complain.
Which I didn't know she did any of this. Like, I thought that she was just taking a risk and sending them money, and I was like, oh my God, bon Dio, like, I hope everything goes well. So I'm actually happy to hear that she did all this research as well.
I did.
It's very responsible.
I looked at Sunbiz, which is where businesses register here, and the lady had a tax company and this business, and it was both registered with her name in Florida. I looked at their social media, and they had a presence, like they even had like an event. It was like a community event with the mayor.
Yeah, you think that's legit.
And they had like a relationship with Wells Fargo, because that's where they did all the stuff. And then the girl that recommended me had been getting the checks, so I felt like it checked all the boxes. And I have this ex that we're still friends, and he's good with money, and we weren't together at the time, but I ran it by him. And he told me, I don't think it's a good idea. But I was like, but why? Because I literally did all the research. And he's like, I don't know. I feel like it's not a good idea. Oof. I did it anyways.
How much was it?
$15,000. I thought, like, it's just
I already knew the amount. I was dying.
It's just sitting in my bank account. And, I have enough to pay the bills now. And so then maybe I can have this money work for me, is what I thought. Good idea, bad placement. Yeah. So I did it, right? And then it worked, and I got the 10% for like 3 or 4 months, and I was like, okay, I'm getting $1,500 check.
This is legit.
Yeah. And then I told my mom and my daughter about it, and they had like $2,000 each, like in savings, and I'm like, we should put that in, because it's like a high yield interest account, like it's gonna earn more money. We put it in. I feel like it was in August, and then like the next month is when you would get the check. 1 month later, I don't remember the message, but I remember being in Target with a cart. I remember that I was in like I think it was like the underwear section.
Yeah, no, you can't forget the moment.
And I got this text message, and I looked down, and I'm like, and my heart sank. It was just like telling us that the company had been closed down, and it was like seized, and it was like raided by the FBI, and it was a Ponzi scheme.
I would have a heart attack.
I was like, and I'm so much better than when I was younger. Like I'm a very like stressed person. So I'm trying to control that. So that's where the gratitude helps me too, because it helps me reframe situations. Right? So,
which this is a hard one to reframe.
Yeah. It was $15,000. And I didn't have a lot at that time. So obviously I usually take a day. I need a day to just wallow in my sorrow and cry and be down on myself. And then the next day I move on. So what I tell myself in that situation was, I am so glad that as bad as this is, it's not going to take me down. Yeah. Like I can afford to have this loss, right? It's like I call it a stupid tax. This is like a lesson I paid for, So it does hurt. I would love to have the $15,000, but it's not going to affect me taking care of my family. It's not going to affect my lifestyle, and I'm grateful that I had the savings to cover it, and I didn't have to, take out a loan or who knows what, right? Same year, I think like maybe 6 or 8 months later, I got another notice for a different bill, right? So this time, in 2018, I moved to Georgia to be a district manager in another district, and I rented my house here that I owned in Miami. And then I came back, the house was still on the lease, so I had to rent a property. So it was like 2 years. And then I came back to the house. All normal. And then 2022, I think it was, I get all these notices from the homestead exemption, which is like in Florida that you get like a discount if it's your resident property. And they're telling me that I didn't tell them that I rented it. So now it's an income property versus my residence. And for these many, like 2 years. And now they're charging me for those discounts they gave me, but also they're charging me the interest since then.
Oh my goodness.
It was almost like half interest, half fees. That's what part that would piss me off the most. I get the fees and I go, I wish I didn't have them. I get that it was my fault, even though I'm young. It's my first home, but I guess I should have known. But the interest...
Yeah, the interest is what...
I didn't wait to pay. Like, you literally just told me. I had no idea. So it doubled it. It was at like $10,000 or $11,000 when I had already had this $15K hit. So that was almost the rest of my savings.
You're at like $25,000
loss. Yeah. Whew. In the worst year financially that I've already had before the losses. So now my savings, I'm pretty sure I was down to like $5K or less, like 1 month of bills probably. And it was very scary, but the same thing, like I remember thinking, thank God I can afford to pay this with my savings, because we don't realize how much of a blessing that is.
Yes.
So if you don't pay this bill, they'll give you a payment plan with a lien on your house with a crazy interest rate, kind of like that 30%. So then I was thinking, like, imagine, and I was mad.
Yeah, imagine having to do that. Yeah.
I was mad for all the other people that weren't in my situation too. Like,
that had to get the lien put on their house, had to get this 35% interest rate now that they have to pay off as well. And they're broke.
Yes, and so you're living paycheck. Now you have this extra bill you can't afford with the crazy high interest rate. God forbid anything else happens and you can't pay this bill, now you lose your house.
Yeah, that's rough.
So again, I was so grateful that I'm in the position to cover this loss. And that's how I try to reframe bills. If I get a bill or something unexpected, if I lose money, if I lose a thing, if something breaks, I'm so grateful that I can afford to replace this. And then I'm not in a position where this breaks me.
Yeah. No, I completely agree that is really hard to figure out how to reframe that in that moment, because there's so much happening. I feel like for me, I've been doing a lot of reflecting lately on like my past and where I am now. So I've been really thinking about my relationship in general, right? So my husband and like how my relationship is going, because I feel like I've had such shitty relationships. So like I feel so blessed to have such an amazing partner. And I've been thinking lately, I don't know why, but I've been thinking about like all the chasing I did. Like chasing to be loved and chasing the horrible people, like my daughter's father when I was young, like chasing him and worrying about where he was and if he's cheating on me and not sleeping at night and like crying over this man that did not deserve it, right? And like just reflecting about like how far I've come from those days where I had sleepless nights and just worrying about what was happening and just miserable, and then on top of it being broke, right? Because I was pregnant, broke, he was spending all of my money, I worked, he didn't. Anything that I had went, like I was walking home in freezing cold temperatures, pregnant, miles to get home because he wouldn't pick me up from work, like just crazy stuff.
It's incredible what we accept, right?
Yes. And just thinking about like how I went through that and where I was mentally at that moment and like where I am now and how life is just so nice. And like I just am so grateful for like just my husband and just life in general and like where I am mentally. I feel stable, like I don't, and you know, money wise and just everything. And I don't know, that's been like really big on my mind lately. And then,
doesn't it feel like a hug to that person, like to that version of yourself?
It does. Like sometimes it does bring tears to my eyes. Like I see you tearing up, but it brings tears to my eyes because I'm like, I was so lost. Yeah. I was so lost and in such like a dark place, and to now you're gonna make me cry.
Promising that there will be some crying.
Yes, and to now be where I am, like it just feels like such a blessing. You know, even if I was broke right now, just being mentally stable and like being in a relationship that feels nice and being happy with myself, it just is a blessing in itself. Yeah. You know, so between that and then like Paul and I, our life is chaotic. Self-imposed chaos. Right? But he comes from a very simple, quiet life. And I have brought him into my chaos, right? So some days
he's keeping up pretty good.
He is. Like, I'm so proud of him, babe. You are doing so good. I'm so proud of him. But some days I do worry. I'm like, is he going to leave me because of all the chaos I've caused? Oh my Lord. But like, he comes from a very simple life. He would come home, watch TV after work, lay on the couch, take his son to baseball, come back, relax. Like, there was no rushing to get to places. Like, nothing. With me and our life, it's like we now have 2 dogs because we couldn't just have one. One was too calm. You know, a very nice, calm life.
Like, your life is calm. She's like, how can I spice this up?
I do. I really do. So one was too calm. Let's get 2. So now we have a 6-month-old Australian Labradoodle that's 40 pounds and still growing. She is a lot of energy and just wants to do all the things. So she's in training. So he has to take her to training at night. So he gets out of work, takes her to training. Then I also help out with my nephew because my brother got a job that he's working later. So I take my nephew back and forth from his extracurriculars. And then his son has wrestling and other things that he does. So we're just constantly running around.
These kids are not normal kids. It's not an extracurricular.
They like to do lots of stuff.
With S. Extracurriculars. Like 5 each.
They do. They like to do lots of things. There are lots of activities. So it is constant chaos. Like, I'm going to take this one here. Can you pick this one up? But I'll drop the other one off at this time. But you have the dog. Like, it's a lot of running around. And some days he comes home. He looks like life is just...
Like disheveled?
Yes. He looks at me and he'll just be like... And I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, it's just a lot right now. But he's so calm too, so it's not like he's yelling at me or anything. He's just, it's just a lot right now. I just need a minute. That's what he'll tell me. I just need a minute to calm down. And then like a bill will pop up that we weren't expecting, and then it's just like added stress to him. And he's like, and I've gotten to the point where I don't want to stress about things. Like, I feel like I've stressed so much in life that this part of my life feels so good that even these chaotic moments and this like added stuff that we're running around, it feels like not bad, right? Because I've been through so much in life that this part just feels like it feels good still.
And I feel like everything, I don't know, like I feel like everything is gonna work itself out.
It is.
I don't know how, but it'll be fine.
It will be.
Will I die? I will die? Okay.
That's exactly how I feel. Like, I've been through a lot. I've been through so much. This is nothing.
Yeah.
We can handle this. So like, I'll look at him and I'm just like, babe, are you happy in life? And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, in life, like, are you happy? Are things going good? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, we have a roof over our heads. We're able to feed and support our family. The boys are healthy. My daughter's healthy. Like, I love my dogs. I do. They're chaos, but I love them. So I'm like, and we're in a good place. And he's like, I love my life. And I'm like, exactly. You love your life. I'm like, so let it go. We'll figure it out. Like, we will get through the chaos. And you know, both boys are going to be driving next year. They're already practicing. Things are going to get smoother. Like, we'll be good. And they each already have a car. They each already have a car.
Don't get more stuff.
Yeah, exactly. They each already have, they don't know, I don't even know if they both know it yet, but they each already have a used car. They just don't drive them yet. Like, so we don't have to worry about that. Like, we're good. Like, that's even another bonus. Like, that's another blessing. Something that we don't have to worry about. Their cars that were already in the family. I don't have to pay more for them. Like, we're so good. And he's just like, you're right, babe. And like, he'll give me a kiss and he's like, you know what, you just made me feel so good. And I'm like, this is nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
And I want to say something, but not in detail. Like, I know that he has been through a big health scare before, or not a scare, like a big health situation, right? Before Mel even was in his life. And I think that caused him to reevaluate his life and to make a lot of changes. Now I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
To make a lot of changes.
It did.
So I feel like, but it's still a work in progress, right? To be in this gratitude and to
You're killing me.
But
Cathy is a crier.
I am, I'm sorry.
So,
good, bad, like funny, whatever.
She tells you a story, she cries automatically.
Commercials, I also
cry.
My husband will be like, it's a commercial? I'm like, but look at what they're doing. You don't feel it? So I feel like
I love you.
He's had to reframe a lot. So I know he's grown a lot, but like even you helping him with this, like I feel like this gratitude practice is healing.
It is.
Because the stress causes a lot of illnesses, or like it'll fuel them, you know?
Yes.
So being calm and feeling the gratitude and reducing the stress will help him with that stuff too.
I agree. And he'll tell you himself, like, when I kind of bring him back and tell him, like, look how things are going, like where we're at, he'll even say, like, you're right, like, this is amazing, my life is good, and he has so many things to count his blessings on. So but you know, it takes going through all of that to really find, like, how much you should be grateful for and, like, how good things are in life.
And it helps to have other people in your life that are that way too, because you know, we're human. So he's a really positive guy, but we're human. So there's moments where you're not feeling your best, and this person can help you and kind of remind you or bring you back to reality, because you're in like this feeling of feeling sorry for yourself, and they bring you back to reality, you know. So sometimes you need that help, which is really great to have. So I think a big thing for us that's been part of that transition is going from like a scarcity mentality to abundance. So like we said, we were very young single moms, super broke, and you know, I think your family was a little bit better off than mine. Or than one side of mine.
Exactly.
So when I was young, I worked really, really hard, and I worked a ton of hours. I saved every single penny. I literally would not spend on anything. I barely bought any clothes. I would go like on one vacation a year with my family, but I really was like head down working, just saving, which is fine for short periods of time, but it was like my whole 20s and some of my 30s. And I got to make like mid six figures, and I didn't even really enjoy it, because I would do my budget, like a $0 budget, and I would, which is fine, but mine was like bills and then every penny towards savings. I was saving like they was going to take everything from me. So even though I made six figures, I felt like if I was paycheck to paycheck, barely living, and it's an exhausting feeling.
It is.
Because I didn't leave anything for me to use or enjoy. Like, I wouldn't buy anything unless I really needed it. Like, we were just really scrappy when we didn't need to be so scrappy. And that didn't let me enjoy a lot of that time or those years. I'm grateful that it gave me the money to do this and to take the time to really figure things out. But now I'm so different. I told my husband, he kind of broke the seal, because he's the spender, and now he's like, you're just spending. I'm like, look, I'll spend, and it like comes from somewhere else. I know that it'll come.
It's gonna come back to me.
I don't, like, before, if I bought on Amazon, I would like count it to make sure it was like in my budget. Now if I want it, I'll get it, and then I'll just pay it, and I don't really think about it, and it's very different and a much freer feeling. And I felt that way. I've just now got to the point where I'm making my a little bit more than my corporate income. But even when I was making a lot less and I changed this mentality, I felt like I was so much richer.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes. And I don't carry debt, so it's not like I'm spending and I'm carrying debt. Like, I know that I'm putting in the work, and I am still saving, but I don't need to spend every saving. Like, it doesn't all need to go into this one bucket.
Exactly. You can spend a little. You're fine. Like, things are good.
It's not going to run out. There's plenty of money. There's plenty of opportunities. There's just abundance everywhere.
I think for me, I saved a lot. So my parents, you know, they were okay. But I've always, since the moment I got pregnant, I did not want my parents to help me out financially. Like, I felt like this was something I did, and I've never been someone, like, I don't know, to ask for money or to ask for help. It's not me. I'm very independent since I was young, just very independent. So when I got pregnant and I was broke, and then I finally left my daughter's father, I was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to make this work? And it was literally just working nonstop. And I'm lucky that I had my parents to help out with my daughter. I had a nanny as well that I paid to get help, because my parents were working. So it's not like they could, you know, just take care of my kid. I needed someone to help take care of her. My grandmother flew in from Florida to help her. I lived in New York at the time. She would help me. Then when she had to come back because her husband was missing her, we had to send her back. I had to hire help. But I wanted to do it on my own. I didn't want anyone to help me out financially. So I worked a lot and I saved a lot, but I feel like I missed out on a lot with my daughter. And that's where I feel like I didn't get to enjoy the time with her that I would have loved to enjoy. And I still, to this day, that gives me a lot of, like, it gives me guilt, you know, and I still go through those things, and I've apologized to her, and she's like, your things are fine. But, you know, it makes me feel sad that I spent so much time working and not enjoying her when I probably could have cut back on the work a little bit. Because I would have been okay.
Yeah, like it doesn't even have to be like one or the other, like just a little bit, like from 100 to like 75%, and that would have probably made a difference. And even for me, like if I would have taken, maybe I'm still working a lot, but like I take an extra vacation or two, even like local things, and you're spending more quality time, and you have the money instead of hoarding it, you know?
Exactly. And I was taking the money and I was trying to use it to like buy her things, right? So I was saving, but then the little extra, I was like, okay, so what can I get her? What can I put her in? What can I do for her? And then, you know, she has other things that I needed, like therapy and stuff for, so then I had to do those things. But I was always like, okay, what can I get her? So like, instead of me being there, having something that, like, purchasing something for her to make her happy. And I feel like that wasn't the right approach. Obviously, I should have toned it down a little bit on work, because I could have spent more time with her instead of feeling like I had to work and save, instead of just toning it down on the work a little bit and being able to be there for her and spend time with her.
Yes. So it's just lessons that we're learning, right? So even I know that you're, for example, like right now making less that you made before, and my time where I was making less than I made at corporate. And we were able to enjoy that time more, and sometimes even do more things than we did when we had the money.
Yes.
So it's not always about the money. It's the reframe. It's the reframing things from things going bad to being grateful. It's reframing that scarcity mindset, like the money's going to run out, like it's going to be taken away.
I'm going to be broke again. Someone's going to take it from me.
Yes. To being abundant and knowing that there's plenty of money to go around for everyone, that it's available, that there's so many opportunities, and really going from that feeling of stress from those times where we were young and learning and struggling to now being like so much calmer and feeling that abundant lifestyle. But it's not always, a lot of life has changed, but even when things are technically less, like financially, life has still been so much better now that we've reframed.
Yes, completely agree on that. So we have been doing a lot of practicing this gratitude, right? It's just become a part of our daily lives. And one of the things that I do every morning is a gratitude walk. So I go to the gym, come home, walk my dogs, and while I'm walking them, I practice just being grateful for everything that I have in my life. And I name like things that I'm grateful for, even if it's, you know, that morning, just the fact that I woke up, my lungs, the air that I breathe, my legs that get me to the gym and home, like it's just everything. And I feel like that's been really beneficial in my life. And then Cathy actually, so we've been trying to like implement little things here and there. One of the other things that Cathy had mentioned to me was, because I was trying to figure out what else I could do, and she said, well, at night, why don't you write down like 3 things that went really well in your day, that you did good or that just went really well, because sometimes, you know, we forget at that moment what to be grateful for the next day. Or, you know, I've been struggling at work just thinking like, am I doing enough? Am I contributing enough? Can I handle this business and you know, make Cathy proud and make myself proud and make the business proud? So I write down like something that went good at work, or 3 things that went good in the business that day, that I feel like I did well or I contributed to, or that just went well in general. Other things, Cathy does journaling. She's been doing a lot of journaling in the morning. So just different things that we can incorporate into our day, so we can know and feel that gratitude all around us. Yoga is also a big one. I feel like when we met, we started doing yoga together with Erica, and we would go every weekend. On Saturday, we would meet at the park. And we would do yoga at the park, and it was amazing. And then we would go have brunch.
For like 5 hours.
Yes. We'd go to yoga for an hour, and then we would go to brunch for 5. And it was just such a beautiful, like, I don't know, just a beautiful setting, and just like being able to talk to your girlfriends and like share the things that are going on, and we would share stories and like good, bad, whatever it was, and just felt so like nice and relaxing, and something that I had never done before, right? Because I didn't really have friends.
And it wasn't like the brunch that you like party at.
No. Like a regular
a cute coffee shop or like Panera.
Yes.
And it was literally us talking for hours.
Yes, just about life.
Yeah.
You know, even grateful, like things we're grateful for, or how things are going. And I feel like that was so, it was such an amazing part of my life, and such an amazing part of my journey to where I am now, that then, you know, life got in the way, and we both got married, and like, you know, Erica moved, and all these things. Yeah, husbands got in the way. All these things happened, and we stopped doing yoga. I think COVID also hit during that time, right? There was COVID. It's just a lot of stuff. Or COVID was before. I don't remember. There was a lot that happened.
Yeah, and that was traveling. Mine was long distance.
Yes. Yeah, so you were traveling.
Yeah,
there was
one weekend he's here, so I wasn't doing yoga because he would drive like 7 hours for a weekend.
Yes.
And then I would be up there for like a week.
Yeah.
10 days, week 10 days. So then it just cut a lot of the month.
Yeah, Erica wound up moving, and then the boys had probably baseball. There was just a lot happening. So that yoga stopped. And lately, I think it's been a month or a little bit over straight that we have been doing yoga every single weekend. And when I tell you that it feels so good,
it does,
to stretch and just have that mindset and be able to sit with myself.
It's like
and
a therapy.
It really is. So I've even tried to tell Paul, like, he should do yoga. I'm like, also, you need to go to yoga. And he mentioned to me, he was like, I'll do it one day with you. I'm like, no, you really should. Like, you need to do this, because it's such a puts you in such a nice state of mind, and really helps you bring in that gratitude and really reflect on things. So I would say, if you could do yoga, or just be in nature, just being outside and like seeing the sunrise in the morning, or seeing the sunset, or just walking on a beautiful day. It just makes you feel like, wow, life is good.
Yeah.
Things are good, you know? So having that mindset shift, you're having a bad day, go outside, take a walk, be in nature, reflect, think about all the good things that you have, like how far you've come in life. Just all that is such a blessing.
It is.
Such a blessing.
The list, I think, that you were talking about, it really helps because, so for example, in the morning when we do the gratitude, I think we think bigger scale most of the time, like life, husband, business. But when you can think about things for the day, I think those are the little things that we forget. Like maybe you helped somebody on the team and it made a difference, you know, or somebody had a win that you backed up, or a client was really happy. Like those little things, I think so often get like overlooked. Yeah.
Kathy actually mentioned to me yesterday we had a beautiful day, and we had a beautiful beach day. We did work at the beach. So we started our morning with yoga on the beach, then spent the day soaking in the sun, got in the water, even though it was chilly. It was amazing, and we worked. We got a lot accomplished. And one of the things that she had mentioned to me while we were in the ocean was she would write down little things that would happen in her day and put them in a note in her phone. And I want to start doing this. And it could be anything from getting a coupon for like a free coffee. To like something,
a compliment. Somebody gives you a compliment.
Like, and I was like, that, you know, that is such an amazing like way to really think about gratitude, because maybe, you know, it's something small. You get a free coffee, but that's such like you didn't have to pay for it. That's $7 or $8 back in your pocket, you know, if you go to Starbucks. And it's like, oh, that was such a nice thing. Or getting a compliment from somebody, like it makes you feel so good, you know. And I feel like that is something that I want to start doing, and I need to try to like keep it front and center on my phone, so that I can always go back and put new things in there and remember. But it was definitely something that I was like, oh, I want to do that.
I actually started that, and if you've been watching our videos, recently I had like a little funk, right? And I've gotten better at getting out of them, but like I could not, this one I couldn't get out of it. And I know that I have such a great life, and there is so much more to be grateful for, but when you're in the dumps, you're like, what is there? So I started the list to help me notice them, because it's not even about the things happening, because they're already happening the whole time around you, right? it's not that more things need to happen, is that you need to notice them more.
Yeah.
So I started writing little things, and then I completely forgot about the list until yesterday when we talked about it. So I want to restart that too. But it just helps. The more you notice things, the more they happen.
Yeah.
Anything, good or bad. So if you make a list of all the good things you're noticing, you're going to get more good things.
Yes.
So gratitude is really like just the best mindset reset, right? And life has its challenges for everyone at all different points of life. But gratitude really puts things in perspective, right? So if you have an illness that is caught, it's not thinking that you have this illness and that it's terrible. I am so grateful that this was caught and that I can now work on this.
Yeah.
If you lose the money, I'm so grateful that I can cover this and I will recover. If there's a breakup, I'm so grateful that what wasn't for me is no longer here.
Yeah.
And now there will be room for something else. So everything, absolutely everything can be reframed. And you really want to focus, you want to change your focus from what am I missing to what do I have? I think our brains are programmed to find the flaws and what is missing versus to find the good. We almost skip right over the good to find the flaw to fix it. And it's a quality to have, but you want to be able to turn it on and off.
Yes.
Because if it's on all the time, then you always feel in like a state of lack.
Yeah.
So, and you want to change your mindset from things are happening to me to things are happening for me. So what is this teaching me? What, even if it's bad, this is a lesson, obviously, right? Learn not to deal with certain types of people when it comes to relationships. Learn what you like and don't like for business. Learn about what you want to invest in and what you don't, right? So it's just a lesson. It doesn't have to be anything bigger than that. And it's not things that are happening negatively to you. This is just life. And how you approach it is going to make all the difference. Gratitude is also going to soften how you feel about comparison, envy, and even fear.
Yes.
So I think that most of us compare to people that are way better off than us, right? So like in business, it's normal to think of businesses like a Starbucks or like a Amazon, and they're huge and it makes you feel like this little speck, right? But then I think I try to balance and realize like there's a lot of business owners that aren't making any money at all. They just have this idea and they're not paying the bills with it. And we're at a point where we can pay the bills and more.
Yeah.
So I try to put it in a real perspective. If I'm going to compare, I need to compare both sides. So if, there was a situation, we went once on a trip to Hawaii and we had these air tags in the bags. And on the plane, on the flight back, my husband is checking the bags and they're like not on the plane. It shows like if it's still in Hawaii. And he's starting to panic a little bit. And it would suck, but I'm thinking to myself, this is how I think. I think, oh no, my bags were lost on a flight from Hawaii. How sad.
Third world problems.
So, I got to go to Hawaii. If I lost the bag, it would suck. Can everything else in there pretty much be replaced? Yes. Does everybody get to take a trip like that? No. So I'm lucky, So if you have an illness and you get to find it, or you're lucky, you know. If like the leg thing that you're saying, I'm not as in shape as Mel, so when we have to go up a lot of flights, I'm like, if I have the choice of an elevator or a flight, I usually take the flight of stairs, even though I don't want to, because I'm like, I'm so grateful that I have legs and I can do this. And if I didn't have legs, I would wish that I could go up these stairs.
Yes.
So then I do stuff like that to really put things in perspective. So that's what I recommend that you do, and you're going to see how much your life changes.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way of looking at it. Like, not everyone gets a trip to Hawaii. Not everyone has legs to help them move around. Like, there's so many things to be grateful for that we take for granted every day, because we just wake up and we start moving and we get going, and then we don't really stop to think about all the things that it takes for us to move our bodies and for us to be able to do the things that we do and be able to live the lives that we do and buy the things that we buy. It's just such a special feeling when you're like grateful for those things and really reflect on them. And I recently heard something that said like gratitude brings you back to the present, or gratitude it puts you in the present where anxiety puts you in the future or makes you live in the future. And I was like, that is actually really true. Like when you're anxious about something or stressing about things, like you're not thinking about where you are at the moment. You're not living your life at the moment or being, present. You're just constantly thinking of all the stress and anxiety and negativity. And I feel like that also, you're bringing that more of that to you.
Yeah. And
right?
Most of the time, that anxiousness, which was something we're working on,
yes,
it's not even something that happened.
Yeah.
It has not happened.
No, we're just stressing about something that hasn't come yet.
And sometimes it never comes.
Yes.
And you spent the time to stress about it, and it never even happened.
Yeah. And what a waste of time.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect at this. I do it.
Yeah,
I stress about things that haven't come, and I have anxiety about things that I'm thinking are going to happen. And then when you really sit back and start thinking about that quote or just that in general, you go, what a waste of my time.
Yeah.
When I could just be happy and doing the things that I'm doing instead of wasting time doing that. So really use gratitude as an anchor to anchor you in the present. Life is going to throw curveballs. There's going to be a lot of uncertainty. There's going to be things that happen. But just if you're grateful for where you are in the moment and you think about those small wins and those small things that have happened that you're grateful for and you feel blessed for, it's going to make all those other things, put them into perspective, and they're not that big. They're not that bad. I feel like things always work themselves out, right? And before, I feel like I couldn't think that.
I felt like the end.
Everything was the end of the world.
Yeah.
This is going to be like this forever, right? When I was with my, daughter's father and things were bad and I had no money and it was a freaking mess, I felt like it was going to be like that forever. Right? This is never going to change. And then when, other things like I left that relationship and just working hard and trying to make ends meet and going from one job and trying to grow into another job and making more money and being able to survive. And I was like, man, this is going to be like this forever. I'm never going to make it. I'm never going to have money.
I used to say it felt like I was in a ditch and I'm trying to climb up, and then right when you get to the top, it's and then you fall back down, and then I just felt exhausting at that time.
It was exhausting, and just thinking back on it now is exhausting because I'm like, why did I put myself through that, and why did I think that way? But I feel like with life lessons, with age, not old, but with age, with wisdom, right? You start to really think back at those things and go, why did I think that way? Why did I feel that way? Life gets better. Things change. Nothing stays the same forever, right? Even the good things, either they get better, curveballs happen, stuff happens, but it's always changing. It's always evolving. We're always evolving as people. So just be happy in the simple daily wins and try to use those to anchor yourself into reality and to make yourself happy and to just be blessed and feel grateful for where we are in life.
Absolutely. Have you ever heard, did you remember, it was a very old book for us oldies. It was a little book like this that used to be said don't sweat the small stuff.
Yes.
It's all small stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It is all small stuff.
Everything
is small stuff. So
it is.
It's funny how these little sayings, you've heard them all your life, but at some point they really get them.
Yeah. Things just click at a certain point in your life and you're like, oh, huh.
That little book was So take a moment now if you have it, right? If not, do it later when you have the moment. It could be in the shower, in bed, wherever, and just close your eyes for a minute, right? Just feel the calm and just pause. Just think about your breathing, breathe in and out, and think about 3 things that you're really grateful for right now, that they've already happened. They don't need to be big. They can just be tiny, right? There are things like your breath, your body, your peace, your job. Even if you hate your job, this job is paying for your bills, right?
Yeah.
Your relationships around you. Just think about them, but really feel the emotion of these things. And just let the gratitude fill you for a moment. And just sit in it. And I think if you really do that activity, you'll find yourself smiling.
Yeah, I agree.
And do that as often as you can.
So make sure that you're practicing gratitude try to put this into like your daily routine. Just bring that love and that peace and that energy back into yourself. Remember that you've already come so far. You've already done the work. Things are good. Even if it's a little messy, even if there's certain things that aren't going right now, know that it's not going to stay that way. Things are going to change. There's still so much to be grateful for. So many things that you've built. So much further that you've come along than where you were. And try to remember that you're in a season of overflow. You're rebuilding wherever you are in life. Just make sure that you take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for where you are at, and that you're living the blessing that you once prayed for. And I feel like that is such a thing that you forget.
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned this earlier in the podcast, like when you finally make it to the place that you prayed for, you forget that you made it and you're now moving on to the next thing. And, you forget that you should be grateful for where you are right now. Like, this is what I prayed for. And I feel like I've done that a lot. Like, I used to pray for this life. I used to pray that I would be mentally okay. Like, I would stop crying over, like, men that didn't deserve it, or that I would have money in my bank account and I wasn't broke, or that I was at peace, that I would have friends that and not just friends, like real friends, right? Not like surface level, like real friends that care for me and that I can talk to about anything, that they don't judge me, that they care about me. Like, those things are so important in life. And I used to pray for them, and then when I got them, I feel like I forgot that I prayed for them, or I didn't really take the time to realize that I was in it.
Yeah.
This was it. So I feel like that is such an important thing. Like, you're living what you prayed for right at this moment. And even if you have more to go, and there's new things that you want to accomplish, and you just other things that you want to do, you wanted this. So be happy, be grateful for where you are, and you can still get those other things, and you can still, have ambition and have, other goals in mind. But right now, this is what you wanted, and be happy about it.
As a bonus. Like, I've already made it, and all of this is just bonus.
Yes. I feel like that's so important.
Yes, it is. So our next episode, we're going to talk about motherhood. The good, the bad, the ugly, our experiences and lessons, and just real talk about that experience, right? But for this episode, if you liked this episode, if you think that it'll be helpful to someone else, the more that we all live in gratitude, it's like contagious. It heals overall. So if you like our podcast, please like it, please subscribe. It helps us out. It helps us get out to more people, which honestly is our goal. If this could help anybody have a better day, a better life, that is totally worth it.
And if you haven't noticed, we're all about spreading the love and good vibrations, and just, doing the work to make ourselves better each day.
Nice. So please share. We'd love the help and the getting us out there to more people. But until next time, your life, your rules, stay limitless.
Bye.